Okay, so in this last video I'm going to show you a couple things. First off, I'm going to show you how to get rid of something, a page or a piece of media or something that you decide that you do not want. Now you want to be careful when you do this because you delete something that belongs to someone else, it's gone. And so you want to be careful with that. So we come here. This is the sample page that I had made the other day, sort of an example of how to make what I had done. And so remember, I made a sample page and then a sample new media page. So if I click here on the dashboard, I know that I had worked with pages, so I want to come and click again on this, on pages here. And so it brings us into the dashboard for pages. Now I know that what I had done is that I had worked with the sample page and media sample. So there we go, there's a sample page, and the media sample actually is probably going to be in the earlier one. So if I wanted to make sure, I could do something like click on view here. Actually, view is actually useful because what you can do is also, this is worth noting, that if you click on view, you can see earlier versions of something that you've edited. So if you want to go back and to a much earlier page, you can go back and edit to an earlier page. That's very useful to know. Okay. So the sample page, but I do want to get rid of this. So you click on it, see what it is, just to make sure. Yes, it's my sample page. This is actually what I want to get rid of. So I'm going to come back into the dashboard for pages. Also, I know new media sample, so I can just show you because I'm going to get rid of this one. So it's the new media sample. I click on there, and I can click on delete selected content. Ask me if I really want to delete it. It'd be a good idea, since other people's pages are in this as well, that you actually double check and make sure that yes, actually I want to delete that page. So just make sure you're not deleting someone else's page. And then I want to get the other one, the sample page, so I'll do that again. I know that it's in the second section, so jump to those pages, and I'm looking for sample page. There we go. Delete selected. Okay, so you can do this for other content as well if you decide you want to get rid of something. Also, you can take a look and see things. This will let you see if you're in media, we only have one item there. That's the information on it. We could, that's where it goes from. We could click on edit if we wanted to edit on the item, but we're not going to do that at the moment. What I'm going to do next is, oh yes, show you how to edit an image to add an annotation. So this is a little bit tricky. So I want to, if I come over here to, not tutorials, if I come over to the quick start, one of the things, annotate an image. You can also do this with the video as well, or annotating plain text. So if I want to annotate an image, I'll show you kind of how you have to sort of play around sometimes. So you get into your Scalar account, navigate to the image you want to annotate, and click Edit Annotations. Okay, so I am coming here. I know that there's Dance of Death has a number of images, so I'm going to click on that. Actually, it has one image, the Dance Macabre. So if it'll open it up for me, it will. Annotations, no annotations to display. So, oh yes, so what I need to do is I need to, okay. So what we want to do is go to the dashboard because that image isn't on its own. I come to media, come down to the Dance Macabre, click on that. That should take me to the image. There we are. The image is going to pop up. So I want to, let's say I want to edit an annotation for this. So I click on Edit Annotation. Now, this is a little bit tricky. We come back here, and what I'll say is enter the title of your annotation, and enter the position XY and dimensions, the width and height. So the XY coordinates, and then the width and height, either in pixels or percentages. Enter the content of the annotation, hit save. And so, what that basically means is I want to come here to proceed, click this add button, and we have right now this floating thing here for annotation. So I'm going to write Dance of the Dead. And so it kind of hangs out right there. Now, let's say I don't want it hanging out up there. I want it hanging out in the middle of the page. So one thing to remember is that this coordinate here is 0, 0. This is 100, 100. So like to test this, we can hit 0 and 0, hit save, and it goes nowhere. If I were to go 100, it's moved because this is 0 for the x-coordinate, for the x-axis. This is 100 for the x-axis. So when I go 100, it drops down there, all the way down there. Let's say I want it to be wider. Let's say, because we're working in percentages rather than pixels at the moment, because I don't know what the actual pixels are. Let's say I want to make it 10% and 10%. Let's make it 40%. Let's kind of make it big, but it is hanging way off on the edge there. So let's say we move it to 50, and it goes there. Actually, I do want it at the bottom, so what I want to change is the x-axis. But no, maybe actually I don't want just to change the x-axis. How about 90? Let's see what happens. Okay, so we get that like that, and this is an image of the Dance of the Dead. Okay, and let's say actually I want to move this. Let's move it up. So let's move it to 50 and there we go. And one of the things to note, because it's the reason why 50-50 was hanging over here is because it's actually going from this position here. So if you have it start at 50, the left-hand side of the annotation is actually going to be at the 50% point. So if you have 30, it's sort of playing around. It gets a little more centered. So there we go. We can hit save. We can hit done. And now we see the image. If we mouse over it, we get, and we're told the title, there's an annotation. And then what we can do is, if we click on details, it brings it up. We have a description. We didn't add a description, so there isn't one, but we could do that. Click on annotations, and it tells us what the annotation is. This is the metadata that, and this again, all transferred over when I grabbed this. I grabbed this from, I think, it was either the Guggenheim or the Metropolitan Art in the import from other places. And so all that metadata came. I didn't add anything. I could add, if I wanted to, a description. Going back to the edit page here, I could add a description in. And this also tells me I've got annotations, so I could click that out. So you can see you've got stuff that sort of adds in and allows you to see things. So to finish this off, let's come back here, because what we're going to do is we're going to add back to the tutorial. Just for fun, we've got a path. So I'm going to click on Edit because I want to add a third path here. I want to add an image to show you that you can add images in videos. And so I'm going to come here, add more content. I'm going to grab some media. I'm going to add the Dance Macabre there as part of our media. And I'm going to add, for fun, let's see, how about what am I looking? Oh, there we go. Lake Kennedy Telstar. So we have these are added in. I like the order of these. I'm going to hit save. This is just a reminder how to make paths, which we saw in the previous video. So now if we were to click on this to begin our tutorial, and take us here, we can then click next on the path. And you know that we also have it up there. So it gives us this one here. I can click next on the path, and now it gives us the image. It tells us the image has annotations. I click on that, I can see the annotations. If I want to have it pop out, I can look at it, work at it with this, see these things. I can then close it. I can click on next on path. I now have a video. And if I had, you can also, just as you can add annotations to an image, you can also add annotations to a video. And again, if you would come to the quick start, you could do annotating the video, and you could work through it, also annotating plain text. You can also kind of work through and see, just read those and play around, just like how I kind of showed you how to work with the image. And come back. This is the last of the, actually there we go. And that's the last of the media, so we end the end of that path, and it takes us back to the start. And that's it.